Hello students, this is Zakir Hussain from Springdale School, Haal-E-Kota. Today I will explain you the chapter number 1, the 3 questions from honeycomb. So dear students, let's start the explanation. A king once thought that he would never fail if he knew 3 things. 1. That the right time was to begin something. 2. Which people he should take advice from. And the 3 is how to decide was the most important thing to do was. The king sent messengers throughout his kingdom. He promised to give a reward of a large sum to the person who answered his 3 questions. Many wise men tried their luck. They gave a number of answers. One said that the king should go by a timetable. Another said that the king should do whatever seemed to him is necessary at the moment. The third suggested that the king should consult wise men or magicians. Answering the second question, they give top importance to his counselors, or to priests, or to doctors, or to soldiers. In reply to the third question, the wise men gave importance to science, or fighting, or religious worship. As the answers to his questions were so difficult, the king was not satisfied and gave no rewards. Instead, he decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. The king went to a hermit in the jungle alone. There he saw the old and weak hermit digging the ground. The king asked his questions but got no answer. Then he took the spade from the hermit and began to work in his place. Several hours passed. It was evening, so the king stopped digging the bed. The king was ready to take leave from the hermit. Just then the hermit told that someone was running towards them. The king saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was oozing. As he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. He had a large wound in his stomach. The king washed the wound and compressed it with his handkerchief. At last the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for water to drink. The king gave him fresh water. The sun had set by then. The king and the hermit carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The tired king also fell asleep. When he awoke, the bearded man asked for to forgive him. The man was, in fact, the king's enemy. He had followed the king to take revenge on him. He had vowed to kill him. The king had once put his brother to death. The man hid himself in a bush on the way to the jungle. He came out of his hiding place when the king did not return for long. He got wounded by king's bodyguards. He would have died if the king had not dressed his wound. He felt grateful to the king who had saved his life. He promised to serve the king as a faithful servant. After that, the king was happy that he had made peace with his enemy. He forgave the man and promised to give back his property. The king went up to the hermit. He again asked for answers to his 3 questions. The hermit explained that by digging the beds for him, the king had escaped attack. So the most important time was when he was digging the beds. The hermit himself was the most important person. So to do him good was the king's most important business. The hermit further told the king that the most important person for him was the person with him at a particular moment. The moment, the most important business was to help that person, and the most important time was now, that is the present moment. So, dear student, it was the explanation of the chapter number 1. Now, it's time to check the knowledge. Now, it's time to comprehension check. Complete the following sentences by adding the appropriate parts of the sentences given in the box. Here, parts of the sentences are given in the box. You have to choose the correct one and complete the sentences. Now it's time working with the text. Answer the following questions. You have to try to understand the explanation, and on the basis of explanation give the answer of the following question. Now it's time to work with language. Match items in list A with their meaning in list B. Here in list A, the words are given, and list B, the meanings are given. So you have to match the list A with list B. In question number 2, you have to fill the correct form of word. Do yourself. So dear students, you can complete yourself the question number 2, and in the next class I will give you the solution of these questions. So dear students, I hope that you have understood the chapter very well. In the next class, we will meet soon. Till then, bye bye.